Welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod. This is the hypothetical preview of my prediction of the 2026 NBA Finals, which would be the Denver Nuggets against the Cleveland Cavaliers. This would see the Cleveland Cavaliers have home court advantage as they would be number one in the East, and Denver was number two in the Western Conference. 7-game series. Very interesting playoff dynamic because at this point, this finals matchup would be a not as experienced Cavaliers team as they have struggled to make it past the second round, but this would be the first time going past the second round and then eventually going on to the NBA Finals against a Denver Nuggets team that for the most part, a lot of their pieces won a championship like 2 or 3 years ago. So, at that point, the experience advantage would most definitely go to Denver. I would see this series going to 6, and I believe Cleveland would win, holding the trophy. I say that because from a talent standpoint, I think both teams are pretty even. I do think the best player of the whole matchup goes to the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. I don't even believe that's debatable. I think he's possibly the best player in the league. But I think Cleveland presents a difficult challenge to Jokic, and they could even defend much like how the Los Angeles Lakers defended Jokic during the bubble, and that would be where you would put Allen or Mobley on him and let the other one free roam and allow them to, anytime Jokic attacks the basket, allow them to stay home, kind of, so to speak, stay inside and rim protect. And I think that makes it harder on Jokic. The Nuggets have made that a lot more difficult to do with the shooting of Aaron Gordon, with Aaron Gordon branching out and hitting some threes now, so he's not going to be waiting in the dunker spot, which gives you more time to kind of move out, so to speak, and get back to Jokic. But I still think it'd be possible, and I think the defensive game plan would be very similar to that. On the Denver side, I do think they would be able to win at least 2, possibly 3, and go to a 7-game series. I think this would be a very fun series to watch. I also think everyone remembers last time we got Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray in a playoff series was in the bubble, and that was a blast to watch. So seeing those two dynamic guards go at it. But then another thing you have to account for is the Darius Garland effect, which I believe Darius Garland would most definitely help, especially shift the talent level to Cleveland's side in that starting lineup. But you do have size and length in Denver with having Cam Johnson and Christian Brown. So I think this would be a really good close series. But I just think if Cleveland ever breaks through that wall, I think that's their chance to win it all. I just think they have break through that wall, get to that next level. And once they do, they would have the confidence and they would be home free to win the championship. Now we're going to talk and preview some of our actual games, our 2 games on opening night of the NBA season, which would be Tuesday, October 21st, where we have the Houston Rockets at the Oklahoma City Thunder on ring night. So this is where the Thunder gets their wings, and I think it's ironic that Kevin Durant is there the night that OKC gets their wings. I believe the NBA planned that for a reason. I think for the reason is not only the ratings, but for Kevin Durant you're going to get. With that being said, OKC is going to have a lot of fun on that night, getting their wings, but you're going to have a very angry KD because he believed he was the guy that was going to bring the wing to OKC when he was there early on in his career, and they got extremely close, going to the finals, going to conference finals, and it happened for him. But nonetheless, seeing someone else hold that banner that, raise that banner that you thought you were going to raise in OKC of all places, it's going to be a fun matchup. I see Oklahoma winning this, but I see Kevin Durant going for 35 at least, possibly more. And OKC does have great defense, but Kevin Durant's in the zone, great defense or not, he's going to be knocking down shots. And I believe tomorrow night Kevin Durant's going to be in the zone. The other game we have, game got a little less interesting with the news of LeBron James being out for the first couple weeks of the season with a sciatic issue. And I understand, I've had that before. It's very tough. At some points it gets to a point where you can't even really stand or walk. So I most definitely get it. But it's Golden State against the Los Angeles Lakers. On this night, it will be Luka Doncic, Los Angeles Lakers, and he's going to need a big contribution from Austin Reeves to step up against Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield. I mean, there's a lot of talent in Golden State. Does it all come together? Do they have enough floor space, and is Al Horford a viable big to help take Golden State to the next level? Interesting, a lot of questions be answered. Also on the Lakers side, there's a ton of questions be answered. I mean, Austin Reeves has to step up without LeBron. I don't believe that's a question. I believe that's a must. But a question is, what do we get of DeAndre Ayton? Do we get the old Phoenix DeAndre Ayton, or do we get the kind of known lazy Portland DeAndre Ayton? Because there's a difference, and there was two different ones. And we saw the frustration already with Ayton when someone asked him about playing with Luka and LeBron, and he said in preseason, I haven't played with them. So frustration's already there. LeBron not playing. Luka didn't play much in preseason because of the FIBA tournament that he was in the offseason, the EuroLeague tournament. So a little bit frustration. It'll be interesting to see if things come together, but because of that little bit of frustration and the Lakers not really on the same page yet because they really haven't had time and they haven't really played together, I'm going with Golden State in this one. I think this game's going to be a blast, though. I think both games are going to be a blast. And the biggest takeaway for the Lakers may not be the win because, like I said, I think Golden State's going to have it. They seem like more of a unit at this point. And the Lakers haven't got practice as much together. But the Lakers still may win. But the biggest thing for the Lakers coming out of this game, I believe, is going to be, can Austin Reeves be that number 2 to Luka? And can the 1-2 punch of Luka and Reeves work for a couple weeks till LeBron gets back? Then the other question is, when LeBron gets back, does that stay the 1-2 punch, or does LeBron become a 1 or 2? And then how does that change the dynamic of your Los Angeles Lakers? And also, where does DeAndre Ayton fit in all of this? So there's a lot of questions be answered, especially for the Lakers early on. I believe they have the right guy to put this together in J.J. Redick. And we know Golden State's had the right guy to put his group together, and he's been that right guy for years, multiple-time head coach champion Steve Kerr. So we're in for a good game on opening night. And the NBA season started. It's getting ready to start, so get ready. We're going to have a lot of fun this year. There's going to be a lot of topics to talk about, a lot of stories, and a lot of matchups to preview, a lot of matchups to recap. Stay tuned here on Caleb's Basketball Pod. And also don't forget to get your league pass before the season starts so you can catch every NBA game. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.